I want to bring in Carter Evans. He joins us now from Sarasota. Carter, can you give us a sense of what you're is that a live shot? I see you right now. Carter, tell us what you're experiencing right now.
Well, we're in Sarasota right now. This is Sarasota Bay, and things are really picking up right now. This is the strongest wind I felt all day. You have to lean into it. You can see the sea spray here and all the rain coming through. It just soaks everything on this side here. This has been going for the last couple of hours, but this is the strongest I've seen it all day. Now, we're in a low-lying area, and if you look out here, you can see how the storm has drained a lot of the water out of the bay. This is something that is very unusual. And when the hurricane gets closer, well, all this water is going to come rushing back in. It's a storm surge. People who live here tell me they've never seen it this low before. We're expecting it to come back to high tide, and then, of course, possibly up to 8 feet above that. So that would submerge this area, that would submerge the road, and that would put water into the homes across the street. So it's a significant concern, the storm surge here, and that's why many people in this area were evacuated last night by 8 p.m. Siesta Key, the island behind me, they are all gone right now, and for good reason, because these shelters are filling up. There are 17,000 people in Sarasota shelters right now. There is room for about 5,000 or 7,000 more, but the problem is you can't really get there at this point. People who have stayed at home pretty much are going to have to hunker down and ride this storm out. DeMarco and Rena?
Carter, it's amazing that you're even able to stand up against that wind there. How fast are those winds going in your estimate?
I pretty much lost everything. I don't know if...
Clearly he's lost life, but you can see the cameraman just trying to keep the water off the lens and wiping it down, coming down so quickly, so fast. I mean, Carter is, I would say, well over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Well over 6 foot, athletic, and just to see the wind actually try and blow him away almost. This is the big concern. He was talking about how the water has receded, which might surprise some folks, but they are expecting storm surge.
I want to point out that those who are watching our coverage, this happens often because of the conditions there. I believe Carter is back. Carter, you with us?
Are you with us?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm back.
Okay, Carter, real quick, if you can tell us.
I can't hear you, so I'm having to get all this information relayed to me.
Okay. If you could tell us just how fast are those winds blowing where you are right now?
How fast is the wind?
Well, the wind feels, we've been told that the wind is gusting up to 52 miles per hour right now. I can still stand up in it. You have to lean into it a little bit, but of course that means we haven't even experienced the hurricane force winds, which are 75 miles per hour. Now, we have had some significant gusts, strong enough to pretty much blow you off your feet. But the hurricane really hasn't even hit with full force here yet. So by the time it does late tonight, we're told we could experience winds up to 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
Carter, what is the plan for you and the crew out there? I know it's starting to pick up.
How's the crew? What's going on with the crew?
Well, let's take a look at you guys. Let's pan over here. This is our audio guy right here, producer, and you take a look at our cars. You see we've got them all pointed out towards the road. We're keeping a close eye on the water level here. If it were to come up, it's still got a couple more feet to come up, but if it were to come up at this level, we're ready to evacuate at a moment's notice, but it looks like we've still got some time.
Carter, officials have said that the storm surge could come quickly and it kills. Are you concerned about that from where you're standing?
Concerned about how quickly the water's coming out.
You know, it hasn't been coming up that fast, and that's been really surprising because we reached high tide at about 4:45 today, and it was still all the way out there. In the last hour or so, I've seen the water creeping in, but it's an indication that the hurricane is not fully upon us yet, because when the hurricane gets up to this level, this water is going to come back with force, and it's going to come back fairly quickly as well.
Carter, how long are conditions expected to stay that way? I know you said it's supposed to increase within a couple of hours to 100 miles per hour. Is it a fast-moving system, or is it slow in your area?
How fast is the wind going to come up, and then what's going to go on? I can't really hear it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but we do expect it to stay at this level or higher from now on. 7:30 is our cutoff point from this location. That is the maximum time that we are willing to stay here. We've timed it out to figure that this hurricane is going to hit with very strong winds at around 8 p.m. tonight, and we don't want to be outside at that time.
All right, great reporting. We want you to get to some shelter, and thanks to your crew. I think we've all worked with the crew out there, good people there, just for relaying this information. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
He says 7:30 is a curfew. I would say 7:08. It's 7:06 right now.
Yeah, because it looks pretty bad over here.
It looks so bad. I got chills watching that report.